Hello, Chris Green here with the Flood Insurance Guru. If you've got questions about flood insurance, flood education, flood zone changes, elevation certificates, click below to visit our website, floodinsuranceguru.com. You can also check out our daily flood education videos on our YouTube channel. Remember, we have an educational background on flood mitigation, which means we can help you understand flood risks like this right here, your flood insurance, and mitigating your property long term to help you minimize flood losses and flood premiums. Today we're talking about increased cost of compliance on your national flood insurance program policy, maybe even your private flood insurance policy. We're talking about that 80% rule that the national flood insurance program has. What is the 80% rule? We're going to talk a little bit about that today. We're going to talk about how increased cost of compliance applies to it and what you need to understand when insuring your property through the national flood insurance program or through a private flood insurance company. First of all, let's talk about the 80% rule. If you haven't heard us talk about this before, this is FEMA's requirement on replacement cost versus actual cash value. And it means that your property has to be insured for at least 80% of the replacement cost or the max coverage available through the National Flood Insurance Program, which as we stand here now is $250,000 on residential properties. Now that's been talking about upping to $500,000 with NFIP risk rating 2.0, but that hasn't taken place yet. So that's the 80% rule. Then what is the increased cost of compliance? Well, see this building right here? What if it's out of code? What if it needs to be raised after a flood claim and things like that? Well, that's what increased cost of compliance is. What if the house was not up to code? Floodplain management ordinances and things like that. Increased cost of compliance can pay up to $30,000 to bring the building back up to code. Now, you may think $30,000 may not go very far, and it may not. Now let's talk about increased cost of compliance when it comes to the 80% rule. Is increased cost of compliance factored into you insuring the property for 80%? According to the National Flood Insurance Program Claims Manual, increased cost of compliance is not factored in to the 80% rule. So it's important to understand that when you're trying to figure out that replacement cost, whether the increased cost of compliance is going to be built into that or not. So that's what we wanted to talk about today. So if you've got questions about increased cost of compliance, the 80% rule, insuring your property the right way, whether it be with the National Flood Insurance Program or private flood insurance, click below to visit our website, floodinsuranceguru.com. Remember, we have an educational background in flood mitigation, so we're here to help you understand flood risks like this right here, your flood insurance, and mitigating your property long term. Thank you.